6 months before we broke up, we had a really stupid but bad fight. Like I said, he was super, super controlling, and he did not like me, like, talking to guys, hanging out with guys whatsoever. And I actually was at work, and my manager asked me to give this one of my coworkers a ride to work because I don't think he had his license yet, something like that. I don't know. And I was like, sure. And like, I still was getting paid for it. Like, I didn't have to like clock out or anything. I'm like, sure, yeah, I can like leave work real quick just to like, you know, drive somebody around. And I remember he called me. My ex-boyfriend called me, and he's like, just like normal. He's like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. We were just like talking. And I was just like, yeah, like, I'm just taking my coworker to work right now. And he's like, who? And then like, I named the person, and he's like, no way you're with him right now. And I'm like, I'm literally just giving him a ride home. And he like freaked the fuck out, and he was just like, I'm so done, like you're always with guys, blah blah blah. And then he like just hung up on me, and then I didn't talk to him for the rest of the night. And then the next day he showed up to my work again, and like, when we didn't speak, I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, he always calls me. We always talk at least like before we go to bed. So it was like really weird that he didn't call me. And I had that like feeling where it's like, okay, something may have happened. Something's a little weird. But he ended up showing up at my work the next day, bawling his eyes out. Like, just, I've like never seen him like that, especially for like a guy, you know. And he like came into like a public area with people that like also saw him that he knows, like just bawling his eyes out. And he was like, so there's this girl, I was hanging out with her last night, stuff happened. And like, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I just gave this coworker a ride to work. Like, that is literally all I did. I was with him for like 10 minutes tops. Right? And I ended up forgiving him for that because, you know, when you have someone that comes in feeling like totally bad, super like guilty about it, he's crying and like, you know, he's just apologizing and all this. I was like, okay, I'm just glad you told me it's okay. I'm like, he now if you were to ask him, he'd be like, well, I broke up with her that night. And it's like, no, you never broke up with me. You just freaked the fuck out. And you're like, I'm so done with you, and hung up on me. And if he didn't do that all the time, I would be like, maybe I would have taken that as a breakup. But I'm like, that's not a breakup, especially when you've been with someone for like 2 years at that point, 3 years. I'm like, no, like you should have handled that better. That was just like an excuse.
At least one word of a notable breakup needs to be mentioned. You can't hang up. I don't think that's...
you can't just like freak out and hang up. Like, he used to do that all the time. He would get mad and hang up. Literally like 20 minutes later, like call me and be like, hey, I'm sorry. It was just like in the moment, I was just very angry, but all good.
So that you forgave him though?
Yeah, I forgave him for that. And so like...
What kind of stuff did he do anyway?
It was never sex.
Other stuff.
But since we were like younger and him being Mormon, sex was definitely a lot more of a big of a deal than you would think of it to be. It's just between us two. But it was definitely like something that affected me. I was just like, I was really like sad about it. It really did hurt me, especially like as a girl. It makes you like think like, why am I not enough? Like, why do you want to be doing that? Because like, I never like had the thought of like, oh, I want to be with another guy. Like, you can always think someone else is pretty or like cute, hot, whatever, but like, it's different. Like, I was genuinely like in love with this one guy. So I like just had no care in the world for anybody else. So it just makes you like wonder, you're like, am I like not good enough? And am I not pretty enough? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, you know what I mean?
You still hold that to this day, insecurity?
I feel like I like sometimes still think about it, just especially now because he actually has been in another relationship now. They like just had their 1 year a few months ago. And I feel like sometimes I'm like, it's just crazy how like you have been able to like, you know, move on. You're now in another relationship for a year, and I'm still like, no, I'm too scared. Like, I'm not ready for that kind of commitment again.
Just off topic, because you